Hey everybody, what's up? It's Jasmine and today I am going to cut my hair as well as talk about the easiest breakup of my life. But first we're going to take my fluoxetine, also known as Prozac, and some vitamins. And then we're going to get into it. Okay, did I already say that it was the easiest breakup of my life? I don't know, but that's, yeah. Hold on a minute. Yeah. Okay, so the significant part about this breakup is that it was the easiest one of my life, and probably will be the easiest one for the continuation of my life. And we are trimming my hair because I noticed that I have split ends, obviously because I've been bleaching it. So we're going to do that. We're going to try and get it on this newspaper so it's going to be easier to clean up. I should be doing this in the bathroom, but I was like, haircut story time, we got to get some good lighting in here. Yeah, so I don't really know, I don't really have any great aspirations for this haircut, but we're just going to trim and talk. Okay, so basically I met somebody, the wrong person at the right time. And usually what happens is you meet the right person but at the wrong time. And then you guys have to break up and it's sad because it could have been something. Well, this was the opposite. This was like, we met and it seemed like, wow, you know, I met this person right when I needed to. But then when we broke up, it was like, thank goodness for that. Okay, so I met this person. Things were going great, I think. Yeah, they were going pretty good. Like, I remember being really impressed by how sort of, I don't know, how much care they showed. And, you know, they seemed to like getting out and doing stuff. And that's what I like, you know. I like to, what I'm looking for in life is somebody that wants to go out and cause a bit of trouble in a good way. So that's what I thought I had met. But then this one night, everything changed. So I was at their house and basically this situation rose up where I felt really, really uncomfortable, and I told them that. But they didn't accept that. So basically, I told them that I was uncomfortable. They, I guess, wanted a reason why that I was uncomfortable, and I thought that it was pretty obvious why that would make me uncomfortable, why it would make anyone uncomfortable, you know, not just girls, not just guys, anyone. So, yeah, and I left because he, you know, he wasn't taking no for an answer, and I was really, really upset about it. I was crying, and the next day, like, he just, I don't know if you would call it gaslighting, but it's probably the closest that I've ever gotten to gaslighting, to being gaslighted. Gaslit, perhaps. Oh no, I just blew my hair everywhere. Stop making yourself laugh, Jasmine. So the next day, he basically, no, we gotta go back a second. Okay, so I left his apartment and I was gonna walk home because, you know, it was awful. And then he came out and then he ended up driving me home. And then he basically broke up with me that night because he said that the way that I reacted was completely inappropriate, you know, that basically I was the one who should be apologizing. And he wouldn't say sorry at all, you know, even though I flippin' was crying. So even if you said, I don't understand why you're crying, but I'm sorry that this has, you know, upset you. It wasn't my intention. But no, none of that. And then the next day it was the same thing, basically putting the blame on me, saying that, you know, he didn't understand why I was upset, and I was completely out of bounds for walking out, that any normal person would have stayed and talked about it. But the thing is that I tried to talk about it. You know, I told him, it must have been 5 or 6 times that, you know, that this wasn't okay, and I told him, you know, I'm gonna have to leave. So yeah. And honestly, like, if you are, you know, any person that is in somebody else's house and they don't feel comfortable, you know, and that person isn't listening to them and isn't allowing, you know, blocking their path in some way, because it felt like that, then, you know, you're not going to stick around and talk about it. You know, I only knew him for like 1 or 2 months, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we basically broke up that night, but I was, you know, I was in a bad place, so I had a really difficult time letting go, and obviously, like, that experience really, like, inflamed my already fragile state, so I wasn't strong enough to let go, and then, but I knew that I was never going to go back to his house again, because, like, if he didn't understand it and he wasn't sorry for, you know, scaring me like that, then, like, there's huge chances that something like that could happen again. So we sort of carried on, but not in the usual way. Like, you know, I was very reserved, and at one point we basically didn't talk for months. You know, like, I stopped talking to him, and I was actually getting a lot better, feeling a lot better in myself, and then he sort of popped back into my life again. Yeah, he popped back into my life again, and then the first time that we were hanging out again, you know, seeing each other, I guess you could say, but not really, because I wasn't willing to do anything with him. So I get up at 5:30 in the morning, right? That's pretty early, right? So I try and get to bed, I aim for about 8:30 to 9 o'clock, because it can take me a while to get to sleep. That's just naturally who I am, so I gotta, like, give myself a couple of hours to actually fall asleep. I'm not like other people who can go to bed and they just fall asleep straight away. So it was 9, and I said to him, you know, we had been having fun, doing, you know, like, just hanging out. And I asked him, I'm gonna go to bed now, would you be able to leave? And he's like, I think he said, I can't remember if we had a disagreement then or if it was later, but basically he said, I'll just, like, tuck you in, you know, or something like that. So I was like, okay, you know, like, if that's the truth and that's all he's gonna do, then you know, that'll take a couple minutes and then he'll be out of here. But I've obviously made it clear that I want to go to bed, I want to go to sleep, I don't want to spend any more time socializing, you know, I'm done for the night, basically. And I thought that was pretty obvious. And earlier that day I messaged him and said that I was going to have an early night that night because I wasn't feeling well. So I had already set the stage for going to bed early. And then later on in the night, like, I don't know how long we were lying in the bed for, but I don't know, he wouldn't leave. And I was like, eventually I was like, can you please leave now? And he's like, it's only it's only 9:30 or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's 9:30. I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. This is late for me, you know? And he just wouldn't accept that. And it was ridiculous because, you know, like, I'm telling you that I don't want you to be there anymore and you're still there. Like, what's going on, you know? And then he was telling me, like, you know, I'm going away soon, you know, this is like our last chance to spend time together and stuff. But like, that's not my fault, you know. I still have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, you know. It's not the end of the world. Like, we'll see each other again, you know, if you stop being ridiculous about stuff like this. Yeah, so he like wouldn't let me go to sleep, and then he started bringing up stuff about like what he didn't like about my personality and things, you know, like he wanted to talk about this, which is fine, except I wanted to go to sleep. I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and this is why we're in this situation, because I want to go to sleep and you just keep keeping me up. So yeah, so eventually it came down to like, I was like, I don't like your personality, you know, you can't change it because you've been this way for however many years, so it's just not going to work out. And that was fine, you know, like, he did leave eventually, and I don't know, I just remember him smiling a lot through it, and I was like, this is really weird, like, why is he doing that? And he kept saying things like, oh, you know, I really enjoyed spending time with you, like giving a goodbye speech, and I don't know, it just seemed really weird. But yeah, so I was like, sweet, it's finally over. Like, when he left, I was like, thank goodness, because I just knew that we weren't ever coming back from this, you know? Like, we probably would never have come back from that other incident. But like, this just proved it. So then, yeah, so I was like, oh sweet, it's over now. I can kind of, you know, I can relax because it's over. I'm never gonna have to be in this situation again. And then a couple of days later he called me and he said, I'm sorry for making you feel uncomfortable that night. Not the night that we broke up, but the night that he first made me feel really uncomfortable. And it was just, I don't know if he was like trying to manipulate me or what, but you know, it's too late, buddy. It's months too late. It's, you know, I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. Did he think that I would be like, oh, thank you, I finally got my apology? No, that's, you know, you showed me your true colours, and I don't like that shade. So I said, no, thank you. Thank you, next. So yeah, it was just, I don't know. And he's had way more like relationship experience than me, so I don't know how those went. Probably well. I mean, like, if he just sort of was the dominant one, then I could imagine that it went quite well for him. But I couldn't imagine him having a nice time with somebody that was, you know, stood up for themselves and said, I'm not going to put up with that. Yeah, and it took me a while to do that, you know, to really do that, to say, like, if you're going to be like this, I'm not going to be around that. But I finally did, and now I feel good, and he can call me as many times as he wants, but it wouldn't make a difference to me. Yeah, and that's cool. Like, it's good. It's a good feeling to feel like that, because, you know, like, I've broken up with other people before, or like I've been broken up with and stuff like that, and it can be difficult. Like, you kind of worry every time that you talk to them that you're going to get upset, that you're going to miss them and things like that. But this is different. This feels really good. So I'm happy about that, and I'm also happy that I've come to this point in life, and I'm really happy with that, and I feel like I don't know, like personal growth, things like that. It feels good. And trimming the split ends off of my hair also feels good. It actually really does. Yes. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. I hope this little breakup story made sense, but yeah, it just felt so good when we broke up that it made it so easy, because it was like, thank goodness, never going back there. Never, ever, ever, ever. Woo! And that felt really good. So yeah, that's it for me. Let me guys know what you guys have been through in relationships, and if you guys have experienced similar things, like what's been your worst breakup, what's been the easiest one, you know, because like I never thought that there would be easy breakups, right? But yeah, this was easy. So yeah, everybody have a nice night, stay safe, don't stay at places where you don't feel safe. Hey door!